Let's give a big warm welcome to Ndubuisi Ike. Ndubuisi, welcome to the stage, and he's going to be giving us an amazing speech. Thank you.
I think because I'm used to church ministration, each time I heard the mic like this, the first thing that comes to my mind is to say, "Praise the Lord." Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to speak on the mind. Lamode magazine has been doing a great job to host this event every year consecutively for 11 good years. It's not an easy task. Can we give her a round of applause, please? Come on, let's give her a round of applause. I want to be speaking on the mind today because the number one place anybody can be disabled is when your mind is no longer working. Like Oliver said, anybody that is disabled, God has this immense ability, as in God has given each and every one of us this so much ability. If any part of your body is losing anything, God make another part of your body to compensate for it effortlessly. That is just how the body works. This body God has given to us is a machine that can help anybody to achieve what you want to achieve. The first place that thing can stop is in your mind. Once your mind is disabled, forget it. You can't do anything again with it. Now, I want to share a personal story on how Nollywood deceived me into Lagos. Not the one deceived me into Lagos. Just a quick story. It's in the year 2012. One morning, I was just sitting down watching my TV, and then I saw, when they're shooting movies, one of the things that they do all this panoramic view, and they show Lagos, beautiful, excellent. I've never been to Lagos before. I just watched it in a movie and all of that. So, and sometimes when we cast some of the actors, they make them act, 1 year later. And they show the person driving with the Jeep back home. How many of you can relate to that? 1 year later, you are coming back home with the Jeep. So I looked at it, I watched it, and I said, okay, I think I need to be in Lagos. And let me also 1 year later, let me also come back with a Jeep. Since everybody comes home with a Jeep 1 year later. So maybe I should be the next person that will come home 1 year later with my own Jeep. So I stood up that morning. And I told my boss I want to resign. Note that I said I have not been to Lagos before. I've not stepped my foot in Lagos. I don't know anywhere in Lagos. I just told my boss that I want to resign my job. And he called me and he said, "Is there a problem? Do you need increase in salary?" I told him no. Because something is driving me. What is that? I want to go to Lagos. Maybe 1 year later, I will come back home with my own Jeep. That was how I set out. But my boss did an amazing thing that period. He gathered some of my neighbors, this amazing neighbor that I love so much because I respect her so much. One of the reasons why I respect her is that anytime I go to work, I do come back very late. And she doesn't joke with giving me a very sumptuous egusi soup. So because of that, I love her so much. So my boss gathered all of them and he said, "Hey, come. This boy said he's leaving this job and I don't know where he's going." I've just tried to talk to him. I've tried to convince him to stay, and he said no, that he wants to go. He wants to stop the job because I didn't tell him where I was going to. I just told him I want to quit. After all said and done, he allowed me, and I decided, and I quit the job. And then one morning, packed my things. If you're familiar with Warri very well, you know Airport Junction. That morning, I packed my bags, drove down to Airport Junction in Warri, bought my ticket, my Libra ticket, and bought my bus. Waited, everybody. The bus loaded everybody. I went very early in the morning and I took the front seat. I love the front seat so much. So I took the front seat. The bus loaded. And when the driver came, he locked the door, they prayed their usual prayer, and then he kicked off. Played very good music. We're all listening. I'm going. Where am I going to? I don't know. I'm just going to Lagos. 1 hour later, I slept off. And then I woke up. The driver was still moving. And then I find myself in the midst of nowhere. I just know that driver was still driving. That was when it was not clarity. You know when your body wants something and immediately you just have that thing, your senses comes back and you start asking yourself. Now, I didn't ask myself questions before making that decision. I just moved. But in that moment, I started asking myself, "Hey, Ndubuisi, where are you going to? Where do you know you're going to stop? Where do you know the driver is going to take you to? I just don't know. I became scared. I became afraid. But we kept going. And immediately he landed at Oshodi. I was hearing Oshodi. Everybody said, this is Oshodi. So I looked through the window. I saw it. I said, this doesn't look like what I saw in the movie. What the movie used to show, those big buildings, everything beautiful all around. But this doesn't look like it. Where am I here? But to cut a long story short, because I don't want to bore you guys, we landed. The driver alerted everybody, dropped at Selahmeditate bus stop. I came down. I took my bag. I don't know where I'm going to. I just know that today I'm in Lagos. Before you know it, a flood of regret came over me. And I did one thing. I tried to call my boss. I called. He didn't pick. I called. Maybe I will apologize so I can go back. But he didn't respond. And I was glad he didn't respond. Because one thing stuck with me. Immediately at that point in time, I knew that there was no going back. So what did I do? I told my mind that I'm already here in Lagos and I'm not going to go back. If I need to sleep under the bridge, I will sleep under the bridge. But going back, I will not go back. Because why? I refused my mind to be defeated. And I came into this Lagos, that 2012, I think we just, let's say 50,000 naira in my account. That was when I knew what it means to suffer on my sofa. Back then in Warrior, I used to eat sumptuously. I came down to Lagos with nothing, and then I started jumping from one place to the other, looking for where to stay, looking for who I can stay with. It was a terrible decision as of then, but it became one of the most profound decisions I've ever made in my life. Because today, by the grace of God, I host one of the biggest, fast-growing podcasts in the country, Selahmeditate Podcast. And there is no way I would have been able to successfully host that podcast if I am not in Lagos. 95% of the guests I interview are in Lagos. Even those that are not in Lagos will have to come down to Lagos. What am I trying to say? To make a decision, sometimes you need to move without thinking too much. Too much thinking paralyzes action. Too much thoughts, too much planning, too much I will do paralyzes you taking any action. Because why? Action starts in the mind. If your legs are not working and your mind is working, you can achieve anything in this world. I want you guys see people, able-bodied men, you see them begging on the street. There was one day I was walking on the road there outside, and I saw one man came to me, fully built, well-built, kitted, with his tie, and just came to me and said, hello, I just needed 1,000 naira from you. Can you help me with it, please? And I looked at him, I said, are you a beggar or an armed robber? Because with this confidence, it can only be an armed robber that will take this confidence to request for money. He said, no, it's not that I'm a beggar. I just needed, I think the money I have with me is not enough, and I just needed something from you, just quickly. And I said, you need to use your God to use this confidence to take this money from me. So, what I'm trying to say, the man able-bodied, fully kitted, legs, hands, head, side, with confidence. Because for you to come and beg me in that kind of manner, you must have that confidence. With confidence, but it's begging. So with I haven't used to corporate beggars. Then with their tie, everything, they will just come to you and say, hello, I need your transport. I'm going to one place. My transport has come down. Please, can you just join corporate beggars? But look at my brother here. He sang wonderfully here, as in one of the most amazing voices I've heard. And he delivered excellently. So you are only disabled once your mind is able. That is the number one starting point. If you don't take anything away from today's event, take it that if your mind is finished, then you are finished. But once your mind is working, once you can think and once you can take action, because it's one thing to think, it's another thing to take action. You know, people can think and then sit down and they don't take any action. But if you can think and you can quickly take action, it's a matter of time. As in, it's a matter of time. Time makes a difference. It's time that proves those that are actually serious with what they said they are going to do and those that are not. With time, you will get the result or the result will fail. It's just time that makes the difference. So once you think of anything, quickly take action. Sometimes no need for any planning. Don't plan. Don't say, I want to plan, I want to think of this. Though the Bible says, who is it that wants to build a house that doesn't sit down, calculate the costs before you make that movement? Yes, that is very key and that's very important. But sometimes do not sit down and make all that thinking, because all that thinking sometimes can stop you from taking action. Just move. Once you land at the spot, or once you get to that place, somewhere, somehow, the solution will come out. If I didn't make that move from Warri to Lagos, maybe I won't be here today. I want to interview the most amazing guests that I've ever interviewed. I remember my interview with Cosmo Maduka. He said something that I can't forget. He said there is this his cousin that he knows that is blind. He cannot see, but he has this very amazing sense of smell. Immediately you step into his room, he knows who is there. By just what? His nose. He can perceive your smell so sharply and call your name even before you say anything. But he can't see, but he can smell. God gave him that gift to be able to perceive, even though he cannot see with his two eyes. So, what do you have in your mind? What is paralyzing you taking that decision? You don't have a hand? How do you use your brain? One of the great amazing speakers that interviewed me, how many of you know him? He can't walk properly. He's disabled. He's one of the best speakers in town. Your mind is a starting point. So don't forget, always take action fast, because too much thinking paralyzes action. Thank you very much.
Amazing. You are so proud that you say you get one with your
I didn't know you were the one.
Are you serious?
When I read the name, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.